Hello and welcome to this series of short interviews, 1 year after the 2020 edition of Laval Virtual. A very, as you know, a very special edition, but also a very special years. Today we are with Luis Bravo Martins, who helped us alone to organize the tourism session in the 2020 edition. Hello, Luis.
Hello, how
How
are you
are you?
doing? Pretty okay. Coping with all of this. 1 year after, we're still handling this virus, but still we are weathering it, and hopefully soon we will, well, be back
In the
to,
real
well,
world.
exactly.
Could you present yourself, please?
Yes, of course. So I am with Ralph Martins. I head the marketing. I am Chief Marketing Officer of KTR, which is a startup on manufacturing and machine learning for the, augmented reality and machine learning for the manufacturing area. Sorry, started it like not so long ago.
Yeah.
And besides that, I also co-head virtual reality, augmented reality association here in Portugal, and am committed with several communities across Europe to try and push forward the immersive technology ecosystem, in the sense that I firmly believe that it's a technology or a set of technologies that is going to deeply change how we live our lives. And that's why I really think it's really important for all of us to get in touch, not just with what the technology does, but how the technology transforms our lives, and how our culture and even, the human being is going to change in the future.
And you well know the tourism sector. In your introduction of the tourism session in 2020, you talked about the impact of COVID-19 in this sector and how immersive technology could be used. And it was in May 2020. So now, 1 year later, how do you see the situation? Are immersive technology well used?
Yeah, at that time, first off, kudos to Laval Virtual for doing this such a wonderful job in that specific period. It was really hard to move forward and to do that kind of event. So right now, it's something that you see with other communities making it happen, but at that time, it was really difficult. It was really challenging, and you did it. So kudos on that. Um, at that time, again, we were trying to find out what the epidemic was all about. So, but we were, and at that time, I was already sure that it was going to change, pretty much everything, starting with us. And it actually did, in a way that today, tourism in itself changed. And right now, if before you had a lot of tourism being done in urban centers, being done in crowded places, right now you see a lot of new tourism going into the unbeaten path, not so beaten paths, let's
Yeah.
say like that. The places that are not so crowded, the rural areas, the places where people feel safer. So that kind of changed the way people actually visit, relate with our cultures, and in that sense also transformed what the tourism business is all about. Of course, immersive technologies also transformed it. Not just immersive technologies, actually. When we talk about for instance, when we talk about virtual reality and when we talk about augmented reality, we're always talking about 3D content and explorable 3D content. And at this point, although, and because right now we are not so used to using virtual reality glasses or augmented reality glasses, there are still, let's say, some universes, 3D universes that are available through desktops and through laptops. And it was really, really interesting to see, again, games like Minecraft, like Roblox, actually betting on creating games and experiences where people could, inside the game, actually visit places that were reconstructions from actual places that you could visit in Denmark, that you could visit in China, that you could visit again in France. So it really is interesting to see how 3D content continuously increased its importance and its relevance and its usage throughout this year. And I firmly believe that not just due to the epidemic, but maybe triggered by it, 3D content will probably be much more used and much more, its usage is going to increase much more in the next couple of years.
And as we are close now to being after the pandemic, okay, people begin to travel, vaccines seem to work. Do you think this use of 3D content and more generally immersive technology will be more used? Are professionals and customers convinced by these technologies?
I believe that, again, emerging technology is having a huge impact in all industries and also in tourism. Immersive technologies are actually right now having a different kind of impact, in the sense that people already acknowledged its importance, but the issue was that there was this, I wouldn't say fear, but there was this, they were afraid that at a given point in time, these kind of experiences could be like replacing the physical experiences. And this came out of course, people that were not so in touch with what the technology could bring. The opportunity that this year gave to these people and to these decisors to actually connect and experiment with these technologies allowed them to realize that it's not about replacing, it's actually about having a whole new set of experiences into which you can tap on and tap in, and with which you can interact with. And that is something that it clearly can bring a lot of value if you, for instance, want to explore, if you want to explore a place, but and you want to educate, for instance, your son on that place, or if you want to explore and go delve in detail in this specific area or this specific heritage site, you can do that in a way, in a very detailed way, using virtual reality and augmented reality. And probably it's going to be much more effective than going in there, but it's going to be very different.
Yeah.
Why? Because when you're going in there, of course, you're living it. But the cool thing about that is that, and that actually connects with the experience, again, that these decisors, these guys actually started to have. That suddenly they realize that although it's an alternative experience and something really, really different from the actual visit, again, it's still a reality. It's not just an experience. It's not just a game. It's something that generates memories. It's something where you can actually interact with other people, be them with avatars or even in augmented reality, mixing digital and physical content. So this to say that overall, clearly, emerging technologies are right now much more used than they were. And in a way and this is really interesting to see, in a way that sometimes people are not really aware that they are using it. So and that's all actually really, really interesting. For instance, there was this study regarding the usage of augmented reality in tourism, where they asked people if they acknowledged or if they knew of any augmented reality experiences, and the results were lower than 5%. But right now, most of the augmented reality apps actually do have augmented reality experiences that are used. And I'm talking about Portugal, Spain, talking about also in France, and you have a lot of them available. So most of the people actually don't see or don't relate these experiences, these new experiences that they're having with the technology, which is really interesting because, well, if you compare, we don't say that we're going to use our GSM protocol to connect with somebody. We just say that we're going to call somebody on the phone, right? So that's where we want to be. And that's really, well, I think where we're headed right now.
It could be a more natural way to use it, but without another word, augmented
Exactly,
reality.
exactly that. And it's something that probably is going to be like put aside, which is not bad, because we should focus not on technology, but on the value it provides.
One last question, Luis, please. Do you have in mind one thing to watch closely?
Yeah, I think that for several reasons, 5G is going to transform a lot of industries, being tourism one of them. So it's not just about the fact that telcos are going to actually push the immersive technologies envelope into the market, and they're going to well, connect advertising budgets with the technology. So, and that's going to be really, really interesting in bringing immersive technologies to the mainstream. And mind you, telcos will have the opportunity and will do have the power to actually put virtual reality, augmented reality glasses in each one of our homes. So, and that's going to be impactful, or can be impactful, in the sense that well, they did that with the TV recording boxes, the set-top boxes. So I do believe that that's really impactful, but more than that, the possibilities that 5G and edge computing add to the tourism experience allows us to, or will allow us to apply filters to reality and actually have a more impactful and fully immersive experience, in a way that for instance, it would allow me to explore, for instance, ruins, Roman ruins, let's say, as an example. I could go around and not just see due to this speed and to this low latency that 5G offers, I would be able not just, I will be able not just to see the reconstruction itself, but also of all the monument or the area of that Roman city, but even more, I would be able to actually see the Roman citizens interacting with the space. And that's actually a very important thing when we talk about tourism, when we talk about heritage, in the sense that it's all about the value that we find in objects and places. That's why we put them in museums, because we prize them, right? So, but most of the times the whole issue has to do with connecting that value to people's minds. So most of the times people just respect that object because it's old, and it doesn't need to be like that. The issue is actually having a story to tell about that object, having a story to tell about that place, and being able to actually see that story evolving in front of your eyes. That's the major benefit, I think, that you can get from, again, 5G applied to tourism and applied to heritage places. And clearly, I see that as a game changer in the sense that I see a lot of new services appearing or popping up in the next couple of years. Augmented reality tour guides will make a lot of sense in the sense that right now, for us to feel safe, we don't want to be with a tourism guide that we don't know. We and just being able to actually connect and see someone or a hologram that actually points to the places and explains to us how things are happened, how things, where should we go next. That I think will probably add a lot to the experience, to the tourism experience. And again, it's going to be probably something that, well, it's going to be a new job. And again, several others that are right now already ongoing, like for instance, you have a lot of people already creating digital objects. So again, all those digital objects can connect directly with the heritage place.
Yeah.
And suddenly you have, again, all that NFT and again, digital objects universe connected with our history. And there are a lot of ways for you to actually make things, again, meaningful. And that's, I think, one of the key, one of the key words here. Yeah, key ideas, making the experiences meaningful. And clearly 5G is going to add on that. So yeah, I would say do watch closely on 5G and how it's going to unravel, because it is going to have a huge impact on tourism and pretty much on everyone's lives.
We enter in a very fascinating period.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Luis. Hope to see you in the next edition of Laval Virtual 2021, the hybrid edition in July. In, if I understand, in the Laval Virtual world, as you see behind me.
Yeah.
So many thanks for your time.
Thank you, Gary, and hope to see you there. And if everything goes out okay, I hope also to see you physically anytime soon.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye bye.